What's up, guys? Ari Allen here, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a review for A Quiet Place: Long Road Ahead. Uh, and this is after I've played the whole game. It took me about 10 hours to beat the game. It wasn't like that frustrating, if if that makes sense. Like, I thought it would be more of like a frustrating game that it would take me like 12, 15 hours to beat. But yeah, this is going to be my, I don't know, end game review. So there's probably some spoilers in this video, especially the video that you see here. It's going to be spoilers for the end of the game, mainly because I didn't have any of my own gameplay. I didn't record anything. Uh, and I will get back to The Last of Us, guys. Please wait. I just wanted to play this game, and I didn't want to record it just because I know that it picks up on my mic, which is something I'm going to be talking about in this video. But let's get into this review. So just a heads up, I did play on PC. I also my graphics card that I have is an RTX 3070. My CPU is a Ryzen 9 5900X. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it took me 10 hours to beat this game. Uh, let's get the pros and cons out of here, like just right off the bat. I If I could compare this game to any like I guess horror or survival game, it would be Alien Isolation, like that type of game. Uh, because there's not really a way to fight the monster, just like an Alien Isolation that came out. I forget what year, but it was like a really old game, and it's still a very good game compared to today. Uh, if in case you guys have never played Alien Isolation, I hope that you guys will take the time and go play it because it is an amazing game. Even people still talk about it today. Like the graphics hold up to today's games. I'm not gonna lie, and the AI for the alien in that game is amazing. Like it adapts to you. I don't know if this game's AI for the creatures adapts like as often compared to the alien. But that is the one game that I would compare it to. By the way, this is all the pros list. I think that the game wasn't too rushed. Like they took a lot of their time and they got like a lot of like the little details in here, like what is going to be able to cause noise in this game. And there's stuff like there's barrels around, there's water underground, there is going to be some like leaves, some broken glass, that kind of stuff. So it really makes you pay attention to the ground more than anything. Of course, you're still looking around trying to get some supplies while to help you survive, but still, the ground is mainly what I was looking at. I know, like in all these other games, I wasn't used to looking at the ground because I play shooter games. Why would I be looking at the ground? Another pro that I had is that there are more than enough items for you to get through a mission. When I say that, I mean there's a good amount of times where I have more than enough inhalers, more than that I don't even need to use the pills that are found within the map. Some bricks or glass bottles in order to throw around, mainly because I was trying to be as sneaky as possible, and I'm terrible at stealth. But there was a good amount of like throwable objects that I could use. There's also a good amount of batteries, maybe because I had my brightness on a little bit too high that I was able to see, but I didn't really need to use my flashlight like that often. Yeah, it's like a dark game, but it wasn't like terribly dark, which makes me feel like I had my brightness on a little bit too high. Um all right, let's go down the list. I do have a whole list here, so it's right off to the side. Another pro I had is that they were always having to I was always having to adapt to like new obstacles. So it's like almost in every single mission there's like something that I have to learn, like a new mechanic that I need to learn in order to get through this mission. Like if it's picking up sandbags to minimize my sound, like if I'm walking over leaves or broken glass, if it's like throwing bricks or something onto a bear trap, if it's um like a gas mask or something. There's always something that I have to learn a new mechanic and get used to it before like I can go any further. Um, and then I also have that you have different scenarios you can think of to complete a mission. So whenever I do get into a mission, there are times where I have the choice of either taking a long route. So there is like a longer route in a lot of the missions. However, since it's longer, it'll be like more quiet, and there's not a lot of like asthma stuff or like lung stuff related things. Like if you want to take a short path, it's usually like there's water and then you have to climb over something, or you have to pick up like a barrel or a box, and you'd have to like pick it up, place it down, and that drains your asthma. So there's that. There's like the quick ways, and then there's the long ways. I personally prefer the long ways in a lot of this game, but after completing the game and realizing how much like inhalers I got, I guess I could have taken the short way like a good amount of times. Um, Another pro I have is that you have to use everything around you. So that's the game, or that's the part that I like. Now, I said earlier that I had more than enough items. However, when I got an item, I'd say I'd use it like a couple of minutes after I got it. Besides inhalers, inhalers is something that I was like, I think only one or two times throughout the whole game, I've had zero inhalers, but the rest I've had at least like three on me. Um, But I think it's towards the end where I like as soon as I got a brick or a glass bottle, I just threw it. I did not care. Like I had to throw it and I had to use it. So it was a lot of like, hey, I'm gonna pick this up. Hey, I'm gonna use this. Hey, I just got this batteries. I'm gonna use this. I just got an inhaler. I'm gonna use it. So, but it was like half half. There's at sometimes there's more than enough, and then at other times I've had just enough. And the last pro I had for this game is that it's for $30. That's a huge steal, especially for games nowadays. I know the original like new game stuff is $60. However, they upped it to 70 recently just because I don't know. Even though they're selling digital copies of the game, the prices are going up, inflation. But yeah, for $30, it's a pretty good game. Uh, Honestly, if this game was even like $50, I would have bought it. Like if it was originally $50, didn't know anything about it being 30, I would have still bought it. $70 is a stretch, but I would meet them in the middle. I'd say 50. $30 is a steal. All right, so that's the end of my pros list. Now we're gonna go into my cons. I put that the story isn't rich enough. So throughout this whole story, I mean, it's in the title. It's a long road ahead, and obviously it's a quiet place, so there's not going to be a lot of talking. However, when there was talking, I didn't feel a much emotion coming from the people. Maybe it was just me, maybe I wasn't 100% in the game, but for the most part I played this by myself. I didn't have anyone watching. I wasn't streaming for anyone like on Discord or anything, but it just didn't feel right. Like the story wasn't like there for me. I also said that you cannot connect to a lot of characters, and I told you this is a spoiler. This is a spoiler warning. Um, it doesn't really compare to when they die. Like sure, in the very beginning, you have a husband. Obviously, he's the father to the child that you have, and he just dies. He dies within the first mission. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to connect to him. I'll just be like, damn, that just happened. Versus again, spoilers, like middle of the game or like still very early into the game, your father dies, and I think it's supposed to be like the sad thing, but it didn't really give me a way to connect to my father in that game. Like he was just he wasn't even labeled as dad in the subtitles. I don't know if that really like triggered anything, but I think his name was like Kenneth. See, I don't even remember his name. But she called him Dad, but the subtitles labeled him Kenneth. So it was a little bit weird seeing that he died and now the main character is like devastated. Obviously, she would be devastated, but it didn't really give that much of an impact on like the person playing it. For cons, I also said that the AI creatures was either really good or really bad. When I say this, I mean there is times where I was like nonstop followed by this creature and I made zero noise. Like I get that like when I pass a certain section, the creature was supposed to like come into that section. However, at most times it felt like he just came to exactly where I was, even though I made no sound. I get like if he came into the section like let's say 20 feet away, that's fine. However, being like 3 feet into my face, coming into the section, that's kind of stupid, in my opinion. There's also times where I was about to leave a certain section and like enter a new one, and he would just be following me the whole time around like that nearing the end section where I can't really like leave because at the very end there's always this one thing that keeps like um that gives an insane amount of noise. Like there were a couple parts where at the very last section, without any, you cannot avoid it. There's just water. Like I remember that in at least two sections. There's just water all over the end part. So obviously that's going to attract the creature, and that's how I died. So the AI in this game was a little bit wonky. For another con, I also put that some missions you have to be absolutely perfect. Like when I say perfect, I mean perfect. You have to execute this game with so much precision. You cannot mess up. If you mess up, you are screwed. Um, but oh shit, I'm thinking. But it was especially towards the very last mission. This very last mission, I like I couldn't. I just kept like dying. I died 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5. And it was actually insane. And it was more frustrating. This like these deaths I'd say are more frustrating than I have only played Elden Ring for like Dark Souls games, but I feel like these deaths are more frustrating than those kind of deaths, mainly because you're not allowed to like run anywhere. You cannot make noise, so you have to go through the whole mission, or at least like that part of the mission, so quietly. Like you have to redo that shit all over again, and you have to be perfect all over again. And if you don't, there's a good chance that you mess up and you will die, and you would have to keep redoing it over and over again. Um, I also said that another con is could be when I was playing it because the game is still fairly new. It's like barely even a week, I think. I don't think it's not even a week out. But there were certain things that wouldn't render. So at times, I think leaves wouldn't render in my game. They would like render sometimes. Like I could barely see it at one point, but then it would like glitch out, and I wouldn't be able to see it again. So then when I was walking, I would be it would look like I'm walking on concrete. However, I was walking on leaves. There was another point where I was walking on glass, but there was no glass on the floor. Like it was like glitching in and out. So there are times like that where it really screwed me over in that part of the game because I would just die. There was nothing for me to do. Like I couldn't see where it started, where it ended, or anything like that. So that those parts, it could have just been my game, but it was enough to like make it a con because I like died. Um, okay, so those are the pros and cons out of the way. Some unique things I thought about this game is um so this does take place in the Quiet Place universe, and having asthma and being pregnant like at the same time in a world. I know this is like controversial, but I'm sorry. But if you have both, and both of those things can cost your life, is actually insane. Like I'm not looking for a lot of realism in this kind of game, but due to the fact that you have asthma and you're just finding inhalers left and right. I feel like you wouldn't find inhalers that often when you are like, okay, obviously this isn't real life. Obviously they need to like give some kind of mechanic into this game. But if I'm in the middle of the woods, I don't think I'm finding inhalers. I also said that air ducts are basically another safe zone. There hasn't been one time where I felt like I could have died in an air duct. At first, it gave me the impression that I could die, like when I first started going into air ducts, mainly because of like other games experience that I've had. Uh, I I think the main thing I was thinking is I don't know why, but like Five Nights at Freddy's, FNAF out of all games. But the air vents in those games, like creatures can go through vents. These creatures are huge. However, I don't expect them to go through vents. I thought they would like penetrate through vents, or you would make some kind of noise when you're hovering, or like when you're walking across like an open grate, like in the vents. I was expecting more kind of like that, like where I still have to be a little bit cautious in the vents rather than it being another safe zone. So I could like catch my breath and do whatever. Like you can't use anything in there, but it gives you like a little bit like a mental break. Um Also, since I was playing on PC, a unique thing that I thought is that I had to swing my whole arm for the unscrewing screws and turning like wheels and valves, which was kind of weird. I know there's like on PC there isn't really anything that I can do, like A and D maybe, to like turn stuff, but it just felt it wasn't something that I'm used to. Um I did say that the preset sensitivity was actually okay for like having it there for this like kind of mechanic, but it was still a little bit weird. The sensitivity was perfect because I think there was only like 2 or 3 times where I would mess up like turning a valve or a wheel, and it wouldn't kill me. However, it made that distinct noise that I made too much noise and that the creature would be coming for me. And thankfully, I played this on medium. I did not. The creature did not come for me. Um, yeah, and another unique thing that I thought should be in the game is that there should have been more interactions with other humans. I think this game was around like the setting of the game was like 120 days into it, so that's like 4 months or something. 4 months after the creatures arrived. Um, I feel like there would be a lot more people. We've only seen the people in our group, and they were mainly like gone immediately. It was just you. It was just this person, this whole game, and there was no one else. There was like three other people that I remember in this game. And then I feel like they could have added like coming across other survivors, someone that's like holed up into another house that's like, just trying to survive. Like to I don't know, just have someone else into the game. Introduce another person that was trying to survive with you, other than your husband that died in the very first mission. Like I feel like if you introduced another character and had them go along with you for a little bit, have them part ways, have them die or something, it would have added a little bit more to the story. But going through the whole woods, part of the city, and not finding anyone new is kind of like crazy. Um, that's that's all I had for my list. I think now I'm gonna start like talking out of my ass here, but I can't really connect to the main character as much. Now, obviously, she's pregnant. She has asthma. I can't connect to both. However, I didn't feel any like emotional attachment like to this person. I feel like if I died at the end of the game, I wouldn't have cared. And this means a lot because I put 10 hours into this game and I thought that I would be able to at least like feel something for the main character. Like, yeah, I feel that, oh, she's pregnant, she can't die. But that was it. Like, obviously, if someone's pregnant, they shouldn't be able to die. But other than that, I cannot relate to this character. I cannot connect with her in any way. She, in my eyes, she was just another survivor. She's just another survivor that lost people just like everyone else. There's nothing unique, nothing stand out, nothing. It was, I don't know, because there are other games where you can like talk, or not even the main character, but a side character where you feel like you would trust them with your life if they were like in real life. One example is, uh, I don't want to compare it, but Ellie in The Last of Us, she wasn't even the main character. She was like one of the main characters. Obviously she's like the second lead. She's the female lead in that game. But I felt more attached to her in probably the first like 5 hours I played of The Last of Us rather than 10 hours of this game. I don't even remember this girl's name. I'm not gonna lie. I believe it was Alex, but you cannot blame me. They don't. There's not a lot of talking in this game. But yeah, that is my overall review of the game. I think I'd give this game. I know I talk so much badly about it. However, I would give it a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. It was like at the end of the day, I'm really glad that I played this game. It was something unique that I haven't played in a while. There's not a game like this where like I've wanted to play in such a long time other than Alien Isolation. And I was looking for a good like horror or suspenseful game lately, and this is one of the games that like really like it gave it to me. It gave me what I was looking for. I know I all of these negative things I said about it. Don't hate on the creators. They did an amazing game. These developers, like this is such an amazing game, especially for $30. That's why I still rate it so high, 7.5. That is extremely high. It wasn't perfect, of course, but um, again, and I don't even know the company that made this game. I should probably do that with research, but for comparing it to games nowadays, it's pretty good quality. There wasn't like that many bugs. I've read like at first like day one, there was like some bugs that only gave people like 22 frames. I played after that, after that patch. But this game was still an amazing game. I love the experience. I believe everyone should either play this game or Alien Isolation if they want a really suspenseful game and where you cannot fight and that you would have to hide. All right, and that's it. Thank you guys for listening and or watching, whatever. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Thank you. And let me know if you guys want any more because I will do. I was thinking about doing like review like before, like my initial thoughts before the game, a review midway, and an end game review. I didn't do it this time. I just thought of it like 2-3 hours ago of doing that kind of thing, but this is at least my end game review where I complete the game, and yeah. All right, just let me know what you guys think. Thank you.